And guys, Joe Bashara, music producer of this and Repo the Genetic Opera. How many here have seen Repo? No, who has not seen Repo? Better yet. Get the fuck out. You guys are out. So, Terrence the Dude needs no introduction, but just in case you don't know who he is, Grave Robber, aka Lucifer, in the house. Thank you guys so much for being here. This is exciting. It never gets old. We were just talking about that. You guys are something like what, 37th stop? And it's even coming here and seeing this again, it feels like one. So thank you guys so much for being here. Terrence, say hello to the good people.
Hello, good people. Thank you guys for coming out. You know, for those of you that have seen Repo, I don't know if you know this, but it began as a stage play. And actually, before it was official enough to be called a stage play, it was this little two-person performance art piece. And part of that journey that grew from that to a stage play to a movie, now this, was playing in small black box theaters and traveling around. And right now with the Devil's Carnival, it feels very much like we're doing that journey again. And you guys are here on the ground floor of that, so thank you so much.
Hello. You look very, very pretty. Take your tops off. And you. All right. Yeah, so let's start this shit. All right, good. Oh.
So guys, one thing we were trying to do with this Ringmaster experience, and thank you guys so much for supporting us and doing that, because we wanted to do something a little more intimate before we let the plebeians come in. Don't tell them I said. You can say Emily said that, not me. And we
I'm a nice one.
Okay, I'm the asshole. One thing that we tried to do is Terrence and I were figuring out, like, what do we do in this experience, this VIP thing? We had ideas that we were going to have a table up here. You could come in, and each person would get 20 seconds. We'd sign something and take a picture, but then we thought that was kind of douchey. So we decided not to do that. We'll sign shit at the very end of the night. We just want to open this up to you guys. And I know even when you guys were walking in, some of you guys had questions for us. So we want to make this like a very intimate kind of experience. So if you guys have questions for us before we let the rest of the audience in, now would be the time to do it. Nothing's off limits. If you want to talk about Terrence, or I won't say it. I didn't say it. I'm sure Emily Autumn questions, Saw questions, or Devil's Carnival questions. Now would be the time to do it. So let's just start it off. And I'm going to start with the first girl who had a question about Repo. Where are you? Okay, go ahead. What's your question?
Okay, it's just a complicated question. But I've been really interested in knowing more into the countries of Grave Robber's character in the sense of his relationship with Shadow. Now, I've seen in interviews that he said...
Oh, I'm sorry, I fell asleep for a second. I'm joking. So, you want to know about the complexities between Grave Robber? Get down here, Terrence. Get down.
This is really weird that we're standing back here. Can we all stand on here?
Yes, please.
All right, this is awkward.
Okay, sorry, keep with the question, sorry.
Yeah, how about this? Go ahead and stand for the...
I want to hear about more of the... I mean, was he drawn to her because he did Grave Robber have any kind of hope other than trying to stay alive in the society? I mean, I'm not raising this probably, but...
No, it's good. It's titillating.
I know. Well, obviously there's something to that dynamic that people like yourself have responded to. How intentional it was, you know? I mean, clearly there's an appeal. I mean, obviously from Shiloh towards the Grave Robber, he's the big bad wolf. Well, he's a big bad wolf, and she's a little red in this world.
That wasn't part of my question. I said that I heard you say that before. I want to know what else.
She gets very demanding. Notice you were almost scolded. Terrence gets a spanking.
Well, I mean, you've seen the movie.
They have part two. Next question.
I'm sorry, I don't know if I have an adequate answer for you. Clearly, Grave Robber, when he's screaming graves in the cemetery, is showing off to Shiloh. If nothing else. Say, look how much of a badass I am. And why do boys do that in front of women?
I have no idea.
She doesn't look happy by your answer.
Okay.
That's the most intense question we've ever got, seriously, and the most, I think, articulate question as well.
And
So-
she is 17, so you know.
Yeah.
Let's not make it too weird.
Other questions? Yes, right here.
So, what is your creative process? Like when you guys sat down to write Ringo and then do this, how did you work? What did you go through to come up with these really fantastic images?
Well, thank you, firstly. You know, it varies. Every project, every song, every story is a little different. Ringmo, as I said earlier, began as a stage play, so there was a long history of story development and song development. That was Carnival, was a little more streamlined. And by that, I mean it was a 2-year process as opposed to like an 8-year journey. But you know, with this, we knew we were going to be using Aesop's Fables as a vice, so we kind of went around that, and so it was like songs that in essence were retellings of those tales. It was kind of how it began. And initially they were quite literal retellings, and then I think upon the journey of writing and rewriting and exploring, they became less about the literal retelling of the fables and more about what the fables, the core of those fables are, whether that's greed or grief or gullibility.
Yes, right here.
How do you go about building the Devil's Carnival and like all the rides and like everything? How did you do that and like how long did it take?
We
It's all CGI.
everything. We had, yeah, she doesn't even exist in the movie. It's just a CGI cut out of her. We had very little money and very little time to do it. We had 3 days before we started filming, so we had 3 days to do everything before we started filming it. We shot the whole movie in 7 days. So we had to start with something. Originally we were going to do it in a soundstage. We just didn't have the money or resources to do it. So we found basically in a carnival junkyard in Riverside, California, and it's 2 football fields, the size of 2 football fields, and just different carnival circus thing this woman collected over the years. And we went through and handpicked. We said we went this, and this. We set it up. And then we had a production designer go in and make our signs and basically put it all together. Add the bells and whistles to it. But we shot the whole thing outside in the freezing cold, using all real pieces, all real carnival equipment. Some of it from the 1800s too, which is pretty cool. Yes. Over here.
What was the weirdest adventure outside of filming and outside of going back and forth during the tour? Just all of you either like moving to another place to do another film. What was the weirdest little adventure you guys had outside of the actual?
Yeah, well, the robbery would probably come in that. It took place during filming, so I hope this is okay with the question, but we were robbed. And Terrence, this is my favorite story. So we're shooting. Here's the good news about where we shot. You could score meth, kill a hooker, or shoot a movie all within a 1-block radius of where we were shooting. And all 3 were actually happening at any given time. But it was not the safest place. It was not the safest place in the world to shoot. And on the last night, one of our assistants comes running up to us. We shot this on HD, which means everything existed on hard drives. And the assistant comes running up to us and is screaming, "We've been robbed! We've been robbed!" And he doesn't speak very good English. He was from Barcelona and had very, very bad English. And I didn't understand what he was saying. He kept going, I rob. And I was like, "You robbed what?" And he was crying. And I realized, that someone had stole the hard drives we were moving. On top of that, they stole all the computers, iPhones, iPads, the still camera. We lost everything, absolutely everything. And immediately panic struck. And everyone was like, "What are we gonna do? Like, all my money that I've ever had is in this movie, like our footage, everything, everyone's performances." Cut to, I hear footsteps running down the street, and it's 4 kids holding everything. Cut to Terrence. It was 4 meth heads came in and stole all of our stuff, and let's just say they were dealt with accordingly, Devil's Carnival style. The only thing I wish would have happened was Terrence would have been in full makeup when it happened. But we got our stuff back, and we taught them a lesson they will never forget. I was really kind of crazy though, because what made it interesting was not the fact that we caught them or whatever, but their parents came running outside. These kids were, 14, 15 years old? And the parents came running outside. And the parents are the classic people you see on cops. They had no teeth, they had stained shirts, and they were screaming about how we were accusing their kids, and they were going to sue us, their kids didn't do anything. And the kids jumped the fence, and they threw all the shit over the fence. When we caught one of them, we actually got him down to the ground, we were holding him down. We held him there until the cops came. So the cops came, and this kid's spitting, and he's cussing, and his parents were out there cussing and spitting. And it was we were in a dangerous environment. We had all of our crew there, and it was a standoff between the white trash hillbillies and that was the crew. I'm talking about the crew being the white trash hillbillies. Where there's a standoff going on, and everyone's screaming, and I know that they have our footage, they have everything. And the cops eventually, there was kind of this moment that I was like, oh shit, we are screwed. When the cops said that since they threw everything over the fence, that was private property, and unless somebody actually had proof, physical proof that we saw them in the act of taking everything, they couldn't go across the fence. And all we saw was the after the fact. We saw these kids running away from our stuff, holding stuff. We never saw them go in it. So the cops said point blank, did you physically see them? Did you physically see them? And the answer was no. They said, we're gonna have to let him go. You have to let this guy go. We're not gonna be able to do anything with them. And so we let them go, and about 5 minutes later, one of the camera guys, pretty badass, was coming back from lunch. He goes, what's all the commotion? I said, they stole our shit. We're not getting it back. It's over the fence. And he goes, why didn't you get it back? And we said, well, because no one saw him. And he goes, well, I'll just tell the cops I saw him. So he walks up and goes, I witnessed it all. I saw him open the door and take it. The cop said, did you really? And he goes, yes. Cops jumped the fence, went in the house, and got all over.
Hey everybody. Let's keep it in. How's it going? So this is the last question, so make it super awesome. There you go.
All right. Okay, we have two super last questions. Dan, these two. Go ahead. Back one first, yes. I'm not talking to you. No, I'm joking. Yes.
As you know, I flew out here before to see the show again. And a lot of people are asking if this thing coming out on DVD, and they're also asking if you're going to travel there.
Well, thank you for traveling back from Florida to see this again. That's pretty badass. Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. We definitely want to put a DVD out. Here's the problem. The problem is we're doing this all right now by ourselves. There's no one behind us. We don't have a studio. We don't have a production company. It's just this labor of love from all of us. So the reality is we're only thinking about where we're going to go drinking tonight after this event. That's basically as far as our forethought has gone. That being said, we definitely want to put a DVD out. So I would say 3 months. I mean, we've all talked about it. What the kind of goal is right now, 3 months. And yes, we will do a UK road tour. We don't know when yet, but we are going to take it overseas. Yeah, well, this is the thing, is we're not going to do a Kickstarter or anything like that. Our Kickstarter is being here right now. You guys are funding us through the Kickstarter. This is Kickstarter for us. So you guys buying what I would ask you guys to do is buy the poster, buy the DVD, or buy the soundtrack, because that is what is allowing us to be here. It's an expensive thing we're doing, because we're having to basically have 7 people in a van drive from Los Angeles to New York to Florida back to LA, renting theaters out, getting insurance permits, fire permits. And so how we're able to do it and fund it is through the soundtrack and t-shirt. So that is our Kickstarter account. Buy a soundtrack. Last question over here.
Okay, so this is a repo question. It's about Bobby, Amber, and Luigi. What kind of woman could possibly be their mother?
Terrence?
And I'm getting hard ones tonight. Well, the way I've always viewed that relationship is Bobby's a rich, powerful man that's a narcissist. So I imagine each one of them having a different look, which is part of the reason why not only they look different, but there's so much animosity and strangeness between them. So it's 3 women, and we don't have time to answer 3.
Guys, thank you so much for supporting us being here tonight. We're going to stay around afterwards and sign your guys' stuff, but thank you guys very much. I really hope you enjoy the show.
Thank you.
Did you tell Drew and Nora to come up here?